guys. I am back. Oh my gosh. And speaking of transformation, it's very funny because I have been a very, um, hmm, I guess we can just say insecure person. And I also have been very, I'm dry. The weather's getting dry. I'm very also attracted to art and beauty. And so that's an interesting intersection. So it's also really interesting to me that I think 90 to 95% of my live videos since I've started going live are like when I've just rolled out of bed or I'm just a mess. But it's that early morning, bright, light, shiny energy that I like the best. And I'm really trying to practice just working from inspiration and when I'm called to do things versus necessarily planning it out and then being more self-conscious about it. So today you get a little bit of both, right? This is still spontaneous, but it's a little bit intentional and a little bit planned out. So my friend and mentor, Carrie Drinkwine, invited me to do an interview with her, and I'm using this. I think she's interviewing me, but it may just be a conversation. I'm using this as an opportunity to be on one of my growth edges, which is until today, I never even had gone live on Instagram. And then now I'm also going to try to invite a friend. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So I think we're just about at the time that we agreed to. So I'm gonna just do this with you guys, right? So like I think I look for a person and I'm gonna search her now and we're gonna see how this goes. And I feel like really excited, like it's an unveiling. So I clicked her, I'm inviting. I think something's happening. My screen is completely blocked as I think technology is working on the invite. You very possibly, if I understand cameras, can still see me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try that again. I'm inviting. Sorry, guys, if this is invite. How do I get it back? Sandra.
Growth edge. So you probably saw a whole lot of this. Like I was like, how do I do this? Oh my gosh. But isn't that just the way? So now we're going to wait and see if Carrie joins me. And I feel like I'm unwrapping a little Christmas present right now because this is really fun and exciting. So in the meantime, I can just sort of chat a little bit about why I'm here. So I hopped on this morning to talk a little bit about the growth edge and being on that growth edge is where I am spending most of my time. And so I'm getting really comfortable being uncomfortable in service of growth and hopefully healthy healing experience, right? Because there's lots of ways to be uncomfortable and you just don't want to do random stuff. Okay, a little distracted. This is totally like a real life in the making. I'm trying to reach her. She was unable to join. And if I have to go offline and start over, I will. Okay, so, oops. Okay, finding my friend. She's running a minute behind. Okay, great. This is awesome. Okay, she's running a minute behind. So now I know maybe it's not just me. So let me just give it a minute. Okay, we're gonna like whoosha this moment here. But you're watching my uncomfortable growth edge unravel right in front of you. So yeah, just this is a funny thing that happens to me a lot in the kinds of work that I do where you have to have part of your brain figuring something out and part of your brain like trying to be really present, right? Teaching yoga, being with people, all kinds of things. Hi, Erin. Erin joined. That's so fun. Okay. So, regardless of everything I've been saying, I don't have a super deep thought thread right now. I'm going to go through this process of inviting Carrie again. So, I'm sure I'm going to all look back and laugh at this first moment here of trying to do something that, like, pretty much everyone in the world can do, but me. Okay. Searching for Carrie Drinkwine, Wise Wellness Health. And I'm trying to find I'm trying to get rid of there's an invite. There's a opportunity to send the invitation, but it was hard to get my screen to get there. Ooh, okay, here we go. Working again. Invite, Carrie. You guys all like, this is the most awkward thing you've ever experienced. There we go. Send request. So now, request has been sent. Okay, so I'm chatting about the uncomfortable edge, and myself and a lot of people have been doing that lately. Basically, we're either like in our homeostasis and our small, soft, warm, squishy place that's maybe serving us, maybe it isn't. But the place of growth is like not hanging really far back in your super comfort zone, which may or may not be true comfort, and not being so far forward that you're just constantly crashing and burning. But I've had a yoga teacher teach it like this. There's a little line. That line is a cliff. Imagine yourself just walking up to the line, and you're like just dipping your little toes over the edge of the cliff, and you're just kind of glancing over. And you can just take a step backwards at any point. And yet, at the same time, you don't want to just tumble forward right off the edge. So that little growth edge is a place where you get to feeling that you are safe. You can still step backwards, right? You're not going to crash and burn and die. And yet you can also go a little bit further. So in yoga class, we do this every single day. I mean, maybe you do or maybe you don't, right? Have you ever done something where it's so familiar to you, it's a healthy, beneficial experience, and you can kind of go unconscious because, right, you know how to do that experience, or you tune in, or maybe you can be like really aggressive and try really, really hard, but everything just feels hard and you're just like whipping yourself up harder and harder, and it's kind of like Chinese finger cuffs. And then there's this other sweet spot, the sweet spot where you're really tuned in, you're really aware. Sometimes you have to relax, sometimes you have to work a little harder. And when you work too hard and you get out of breath, you can just come back into your breath and pull back a little bit. And if you are finding yourself really kind of complacent and lazy and comfy, cozy, you can kind of turn it on. With kids, we talk about this. We talk about gas breaks. So I'm in a really super funny loop here, you guys. So I'm inviting Wise Wellness, and it's continuing to not go through. So I'm just going to keep chatting. So thank you if you're here. If you have any comments or anything you want to talk about, you can throw that right up here, because basically this is all an experiment. This literal moment right here is my growth edge. Trying something new. I chose to be the inviter because I wanted to practice this experience. I wanted to practice going on Instagram Live. I wanted to practice inviting and doing this whole like interview experience. So I basically just volunteered to like throw myself under the bus. So big, giant guinea pig today. And I will just admit that I'm completely distracted by the technology part of getting us both on. So I can blather all day long about meaningful things. Do you know what? Why don't we take a moment? What I'm really accustomed to doing is breath and meditation to just kind of ground the moment. So I've done like 4 requests or more, 4 or 5 requests to try to get Wise Wellness to join. And so what I'm noticing and experiencing in my body is that I'm getting a little stressed, a little worried, a little anxiety. So why don't we, I've been working with these 3 breaths, 3 to free, I'm calling it. So 3 breaths that change what's going on with you right now. And it never hurts, right? So let's just start with one big deep breath. Inhale into your chest. And let's do a big open mouth, sigh it out. Okay, second breath. Big inhale into your belly. Big bowl full of belly breath. Can you like expand out in every direction in your midsection? Big open mouth, sigh it out. And our next breath, let's do an elevator breath. See, I've naturally just kind of blinked my eyes closed. And even though I'm here with you, I'm going into my default a little, my comfort zone, going into my meditation. So let's inhale an elevator breath as though you were drawing the energy up from the earth. And it's light energy, right? As it comes up, it's healing source light energy. Just do a body scan as you rise through all of your energy centers, through your solar plexus, through your chest, your respiratory system, your joints, your shoulders, your neck, your head, and inhale that healing light energy up and beyond and share it out with the world as you inhale it up. And then on the exhale breath, let's just get rid of anything icky or sticky or anything that we need to let go of. Just let it all the way out. This can be an open mouth exhale or exhale slowly, calmly through your nose. And, you know, what I've noticed already is that my physiology is changed. My emotion, myself, my physiology is completely changed. Okay, awesome. She sent me a request now. So let's see how this goes. Go live with Wise Wellness Health. See, things weren't going my way. Drop into our meditation and everything. Carrie!
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to get into your request. It didn't work, so I sent you a request.
I think that's fantastic.
But I was
So
meditating with you until you saw it.
that's so great. So, okay, so here's the big surprise. I didn't really like announce or say it, but you're in Mexico, right?
Yeah, I am. You can see this is, oops, sorry. This is the view. It's pretty awesome.
I'm super jealous right now and just like want to meditate on that.
It's coming. It's all here for you.
Well, I'm going to sort of turn over as you, the leader now of our chat, and just see where that goes.
Yeah. Well, Tammy, I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I just wanted to introduce like what we're doing here. So I'm going through this time and space in my own self where I'm doing a lot of introspection and reflection. And so I operate as a healer full time, but as healers, it means that we've also sometimes come from the most wounded paths. And so we have to make sure that we're taking care of our wounds and taking care of our personal development and growth. And a lot of times, being a healer can also mean that you have this innate ability to power through really intense situations, um, which is part of what makes you so powerful and strong. But it also can sometimes mean that you are helping others and not helping yourself. And so I see that a lot in myself. And I've done a ton of self work, but it's always been at the cost of like my face is in the ground, right? Like I'm at my wit's end and I'm like, oh, I have to take care of me now. So I'm actually taking this time to break some old patterning. And I, promised myself, like I had created a very substantial business in the last couple of years. And I promised myself that I was going to stay home as long as possible with my last baby. And I found myself right back at work, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks postpartum at the clinic. And I was like, why did I do that? And I've been carrying all this heaviness and this guilt around it. And so I decided that I can either carry around this guilt or I can do something about it. And so this is me doing something about it. So I'm reclaiming my baby moon, and I'm working on myself. I'm working on family time, on rest, on introspection and reflection of my own personal behaviors. And that is why I wanted to interview Tammy today, because I just really admire you, Tammy. And I don't know if you know that. the reason I do is I feel like I just see that you are a person that always strives to grow in every way possible, even when it's super difficult for you. Like, I feel very lucky that certain things come very naturally to me, and the things that don't come very naturally to me, I can find myself getting frustrated with. And Tammy, you're somebody that's like, this is hard. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it, because I'm always in growth. And that's actually the next call that we're doing in an hour is about healthy holiday talk, or at 11 Central your time. I'm all backwards right now. I'm on Eastern time zone. Is about avoiding that all or none mentality and finding consistent growth throughout your life and who you are. And so I have just watched your live that you did earlier, and I loved it so much. And that talking about finding that growth edge. And so I feel like that's what Tammy and I really connected a couple of years ago, just via Jenny, actually. And we right away clicked and saw this similarity in each other and made some magic happen and traveled to Bali across the world and had a beautiful healing retreat. We're also in business together, and we're in mentorship together in the way that we focus on growth and support. And so, Tammy, I want to just check in with you and ask you, like, where do you feel like you've come in the last year? Let's just say year. Like, what has shifted for you and why?
What was that last part?
What has shifted for you and why?
Oh boy. Well, what's popping into my mind is possibility, and what's coming up is a lot of tears. So it's interesting when you talk about like working hard. Like, there's a challenge for me in between learning how to be and learning and like pushing to make things happen. And I think that really is kind of my growth edge, is learning what to recognize or be chill with as opportunity, what to just do without question versus, oh, I have to create this. I want to go here, so I have to make that happen. And there's a little beautiful happy dance there, because I see my own glass ceilings and I see them moving and shifting. I don't know that I've shattered it yet, but it'll kind of like inch up a little bit. So like when we met, I was just coming out of this space of, okay, backing up a little. I believe that I know I was living in a space where I'm like, if I just don't ask for too much, I can make everything be okay. So that was for sure the space I was living in. And it was like I was almost anti-growth, even as I was in constant desire for transformation. So what I was trying to do is just be like, I just need to afford my house. We've got a little cabin. I just need to pay my bills. I just need to keep healing, and everything is going to be okay. And then like a whole bunch of stuff happened right in a row that threw us into like travel. Like, and I was always going on these yoga adventures, right? So I came home from a major yoga thing, and a friend of mine asked me to travel a year later. And I'm sort of like, and I'm also better at doing things for others. So I have this vision of what I want for my children and my family. And I was like, who am I if I can't plan a year out on vacation? I also really need to be like invited and asked, because I have a whole bunch of wounds around that. So I don't declare stuff for myself. So my friend invited me to travel in a year, family to family, and to go to Mexico. So, and that's when my heart desires is Mexico. So anyway, the like kind of fast forwarding, then my husband earned rather a work opportunity to Aruba. And so, and I was also in this like teacher training that I sort of slid in the back door of. So all of this stuff was happening. It's the year that I was going to like just be chill and focus on herself and do a little work on the cabin and on myself. And suddenly like 6 things happened and I feel like they all cost like $6,000. And I was like, what? We're doing 2 international trips back to back. So what happened on those trips is I sort of became a different person and I sort of became a person who wanted more for myself. And then fast forward a little bit, I sort of put myself out there to assist on one yoga retreat to Aruba. So I went back to Aruba. So this is like 3 international trips inside of a year. And then we met right after that trip. And it's funny because the evening we really met, I mean, I think we knew of each other through Jenny, but we really talked was like a Super Bowl party, small gathering, and a night when neither of us really thought we were going to go, but we still kind of went because we were like feeling tired or run down or whatever on that moment. And your baby just completely enraptured me. Mila with her like super Zen Buddha nature. So we ended up chatting. And I was like, I just went on this trip. Here were the takeaways. And somehow we wrapped around to like, you can travel with me. And when I connected with you later, what cracks me up so hard is I was like, so just to be sure, did you sort of agree I can come with and like be a mentee on your next international trip? And you're like, yeah, isn't that crazy? I think I just did that. So next we were like promoting, and it's also easier for me to promote for other people. So I was like, I can promote for Carrie. I can promote this trip. And so that also in that process, we made a business connection that's all about healing yourself with vibrant superfoods and also has to do with healing the planet and economic sovereignty. And so all of these things were kind of coming together in a swirl, but I still had my own giant plate of growth. But what happened was we went to Bali, and that was a transformational experience. And the other business was a little bit slow for me because I already had like this giant ball of growth and work that I was working on for myself. So it's a big question, like what's changed and where am I and where do I see myself? But what I will say has changed the most is this belief in possibility. And so that was a lot of backstory kind of even to where we were a year ago when we went on our trip. And then what has changed from a year ago to now, and even in the last month or two, things are starting to feel really, really different. And I'm really starting to feel tapped into something that feels really powerful and exciting.
So beautiful. Yeah, I love all of it so much. And really what I heard was you went from actually the place of being comfortable in your smallness, you know, like safe, soft, and small. And that's where the ego will keep us, is like, oh, this is predictable. And I heard you talk about that earlier. And that's, if there's a great book, if you're looking to really get into your growth edge, and I love The Untethered Soul.
Just
My favorite chapter is the let go or fall. And it really talks about how we view change and how we view growth. And if we view it as fearful, we'll create very predictable lives. Sorry, my daughter is knocking at the window saying, Mommy! So we'll create like very predictable lives where like you were saying, like, this is my cabin, this is my home, this is all I need. And that is like this safety bubble of like, if I just convince myself of this smallness being great, then I'll be content forever. And maybe that is actually what makes you content down to your core. But we are innate beings of growth and connection and community. And so I see this so much in myself and I see it in others. And if you would have told me that in a year's time, I would have doubled my income and be working from abroad for 5+ weeks over the winter, I would have been like, no way. right? And so like
Yeah,
this is what's possible when we really come together in this community and in this connection. So I just think it's so inspiring, Tammy, that you just show up all the time in little bits, like little bursts. You know, maybe you did have a glass of wine last week, and then tomorrow you have celery juice and watermelon, and go to yoga. And so it's not like this all or none mentality. It's just like a consistent trajectory of growth and of commitment. And so I want to segue into how we're in partnership together now, in the sense
sure.
of like we are partnered in taking amazing care of our bodies as a temple, and then in conjunction with that, taking care of the planet, and then in conjunction with that, creating our own, like Tammy mentioned, financial sovereignty, which is like it's a unicorn, really. It's like, wait, what? So, you know, this really came into me wanting to up level my nutrition. And Tammy was always curious about, how do I get healthier? What do I do? And so we integrated in like the highest quality organic regenerative superfoods into our lifestyles and partnered that with business. And so from that piece, I remember when Tammy first started, she was like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, kind of share a little bit here and there. And that is exactly actually what she's done. But I want to really segue right into the impact it's had in your circle. And so this tiny bit of share of Tammy saying, like, this has really changed my life. We want to take a look at that. And I'm just watching Tammy's circle blow up from people that were in deep suffering, where, you know, Tammy would be a mentor towards or a friend towards, but people that were in deep suffering, physically, emotionally, whatever it is, it's their story, not mine to share. But watching them like rise, like these women are glowing and doing lives and like building business and changing their whole lives. And I just want to like say, like, it just like my heart, like I woke up this morning, I saw Aaron's live, I saw Rachel, I saw all these people, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Tammy's circle is booming because she shared her gift. And so my encouragement there is like, you are never too small to change the world. Like, and I'll be doing an interview later this week with the person that changed my world, Carrie Tidwell. She's the one person that was brave enough to say to me, I really think I can help you, when I was super duper sick. And now I sit here on a multiple 6-figure income, changing thousands of lives because one person told me she could help me. And I was in between desperate and skeptical and said, okay, just show me the way. Just show me the way. So I really just think like it's so inspiring and so encouraging for us to like really tap into that source of who we are and what makes us grow. And I just want to have Tammy share what's happening for you as you see this happening all around you in your friend group.
Well, I'm just really, that's a lot of what I'm saying when I say this energy that's happening right now. And I'm I'm recognizing it. I can use it and be honest about it, but how much easier it is for me to show up for other people. Like for me, I've built that, and that's something I always do. Like I always come back to what do I need to do for me, but sometimes it feels like work or like the grind. So I think that some of my slow start is just sharing out for me, but this connection to others when I just step back into the way I share about anything I do, all I ever want to do is say, hey, I've walked a path, I've learned some things, these things have helped me. And the fact that some of what I've done is now helping others, and the dramatic way it's helping them is just making my heart feel full every day. And I'm feeling inspired. And I'm like spontaneously crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the whenever I lose this, that's when I'm off track. But when I'm right here about, I mean, it's the same being a hairdresser for years. It's the same being a yogi. It's the same being a friend. It's the connection, the moment when you see the spark in someone else and you see them drop even one layer of suffering, and you're like, oh my God, let's celebrate. It's so profound and amazing. And so I just feel super nourished right now. I feel spiritually nourished. I feel emotionally really nourished. And I also feel like, okay, I got this. I'm on my path because this is what I'm supposed to do, is just light a little spark. And actually behavior change is absolutely my passion, and I'm going to be pursuing that in many ways going forward. It's like no secret, right? But this little spark that people can learn and change and heal is everything.
Thank you. So beautiful. It's like it's that analogy. Tammy and I could talk for hours, but we'll wrap up here because I have a yoga class. But the whole thing of like Tammy and I are very similar, and like we can do it all. Like we just kind of keep filling and keep filling our schedule. Like
Yeah.
sure, I can take on that. I can take on that. I can take on that. And this is like the natural. This is one of those. I mean, it's the healer mentality, right? It's totally like I can fix everything else but not fix myself, but she is fixing herself. So it's like now she's learning to like really like clear the schedule a little bit and step more into connection and authenticity and more into like instead of being in your head. And I know there's a lot of resistance in the beginning of this path to sharing, instead of being in your head like I don't do that, or this isn't my platform, or I don't know about that. It's like this stillness, like this is what works. This is like we're in the moment of like real connection and real authenticity, and we're changing people's lives through our message, and we're changing the planet, and we're changing the way people make money, and we're giving people hope, and it's fucking incredible. To use the F-bomb. And so I like the analogy of if I was in a whole crowd, a big concert or a whole crowd of people, and I had a candle, and Ashley Castro always talks about this, but I had a candle and I was trying to light the entire place's candle, there's no way I could do it. It'd be impossible. Not only would my candle burn out, but I would burn out. But if I turned around and lit the 5 people's candle behind me and said, turn around and light 5 people's candles behind you, in no time at all, the entire stadium would be glowing, right? Or lit. And that's what it's really about, is who can you light up right around your world while still preserving this ability to do deep self-care and to really create that sovereignty for yourself, and, you know, create that permaculture for yourself. And a lot of people don't know the word permaculture is related to farming, but it also means like permanent culture. So it's like this ability where we can, everything that we eat goes back into the ground, it refertilizes the ground and then regrows the plants, right? So there's like no waste, it's constant death and rebirth, death and rebirth. And that's like that permanent culture that we're talking about. So financial permaculture is literally creating a permanent culture of a financial stream of revenue that's just coming up and flowing through and constantly coming in, even when you're not showing up for it, even when you're not working, because you've lit so many other people's candles. And that is what we're doing here. So I'm really excited. I want to drop back in with you, Tammy, on a different topic that's not related to this, maybe later in the week, but I have to teach a yoga class and I was having a little trouble with the Wi-Fi, and Akumal is, you know, whatever, I've been paradise, I can't complain.
Awesome.
But yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for having me on. And just since you're brand new to this, when you hit end, it'll ask you if you want to download the video to your phone. Like hit download video, and then that way you can share it with me and I can upload it to mine as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. I just thank you so much. I'll stay on for a sec and then sign off. And I just want to thank you so much, Carrie. I love you, and I'm amazed that you're in Mexico right now for a month. I want
It's coming for you. It's coming. We had to we were supposed to be in Bali right now, but that's closed, so we had to recourse. And then Thailand was supposed to be in February, and that is still closed. So I'm working on getting a refund on the very expensive villa I paid for. And that's closed. But we'll probably actually reroute to Mexico, which is just very comfortable and safe right now. It's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. They have like no cases here. They're really doing a great job. It's been a very comfortable process so far. So I think we'll have a healing women's retreat beachfront in Puerto Morelos in February. So
wow. Okay.
Food
for thought. Food for thought. Still seeds, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
Right.
hearts to Carrie. And I just want to say to everybody, thank you for being here with me. And sorry for the fumbles at the beginning, but hey, living and learning on the edge, right? All right. So, yeah, I'm going to sign off. I think we're going to pick this conversation up at another time. And if I can help you in any way on any front. My passion is meeting people where they are at, helping you like disrupt your bottleneck. And I do that in a variety of ways. So definitely reach out if you think there's anything I can do for you. Okay, I'm going to go take a walk in the opposite of what Carrie is in the super white, fluffy snow. Here, since she had her beautiful background there, I'll just pivot a little. There's my little winter wonderland. I'm in my tree house. So kind of got that experience of the opposite. I guess before I drop off, I can just see if anybody has any questions or thoughts or anything at all that you would like to chat about. And all right. So thanks for being here. Have a fantastic day, and I'll be back.